Recipe share. Share a little recipe with Recipe Share. Recipe Share. Recipe Share. Share a little recipe with Recipe Share.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Recipe Share, a program on AADL TV, where we take a few minutes to share recipes from a featured category. Today's category is quick and light. I'm Beth, and as usual, I'm joined by Katie and Elizabeth to tell us about their recipes. So, Katie, what did you make?
Okay, well, I almost didn't share this recipe because it's so simple, but I ended up kind of switching to this at the last minute because I've been making this so often for myself and it just fits this category so perfectly. So I decided to share it even though it's simple. This is for tomato burrata salad from the website 15spatulas.com. And I actually had never bought burrata cheese before I started making this recipe. I was just at the store and I was planning on buying fresh mozzarella cheese, and the burrata was right next to it and it looked so beautiful. And I was just like, I'm gonna try something different. And I'm glad that I did, because that just came home and Googled a bunch of different recipes. This is one that I landed on. It's super, super simple. So this is basically like a caprese salad, but you take burrata and use that instead of the fresh mozzarella. That's really what it is. But you slice so it says to use medium heirloom tomatoes and slice them about a 1/4 inch thick. I used both these large yellow tomatoes that I grow called Dad's Sunset, which is one of my favorite varieties because they taste good and also look beautiful. And then I also have these small Matt's wild cherry tomatoes that I cut in half. And so I just liked having the different colors and sizes and stuff. It always just makes it look really nice and a little bit more exciting to eat. So you just arrange that on your serving platter, and then it says to sprinkle the fresh basil leaves over top. I always chiffonade my basil leaves, so I always like to cut them up into nice little ribbons so that I think it looks nicer, and then you don't have like these giant basil leaves every once in a while. And then you slice your burrata into bite-sized pieces using a serrated knife, which is a good tip. Lay that on top of your tomatoes, sprinkle with salt and pepper, and then you drizzle extra virgin olive oil and aged balsamic vinegar over top. I like to use a balsamic glaze just because it's a little thicker. It tends to stick to your tomatoes a little bit better. And then serve immediately. You can see a picture of my platter that I made. It takes like 5 minutes to do this, and then you got this giant platter of food that I just would normally just eat all of it myself, but you could share it with friends too. I could definitely see bringing this to a party and it looking great in a spread. So yeah, that was my simple salad. It's so tasty.
Delicious. What's not to love, and so perfect for tomato season too, when you just have so many and you want to use them up. And yeah, I love it. Sounds delish, of course.
Sounds delish. Sounds a little similar to mine. You can feel it later.
Well, that's exactly right. I'll just make this until I'm out of tomatoes coming out of the garden. So yeah, it's a great end of year recipe that way too, for sure. So Beth, tell us about your similar recipe.
No, let's have Elizabeth do it.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
You
tell us.
That's okay.
Okay, I struggled with this a little bit because similar to Katie, I felt like my easiest recipes are like barely recipes. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk about how I like chop up whatever veggies are in the fridge and like make brown rice and then that's dinner. So I was kind of looking around, and then I feel like some of my other recipes, I was kind of hung up on the light part because like I don't think of like anything with pasta as super light. I don't really think of anything with like red meat as light at all. So anyway, I ended up finding a recipe that was new to me. And this is kind of funny. It's called actually Weight Watchers Shrimp Stir Fry. But it's really quite good, and it did inspire me to use frozen veggies, which I very, very rarely do. And I know you guys do. But that was kind of part of what makes this so quick is it called frozen veggies. So anyway, so it's super easy. You take a pound of raw shrimp that's deveined, deshelled. It just called for 2 cups of a frozen vegetable medley. And then you have we have chop up a white onion, chop up some garlic, and then you have some spices. And this, it said stir fry. They did not like make this super Asian to me. It does have soy sauce in it. But basically I'll just go through what you do. So you put the shrimp, some soy sauce, and then I really liked this. It called for a couple tablespoons of orange juice. So shrimp, soy sauce, orange juice, spices in a bowl. It said you could use cornstarch if you wanted. I know that people do that in stir fries. I haven't done that usually, but I did because I had some, so I threw that in. And then you bring a skillet or wok, whatever you have, to medium high heat, and add in some olive oil and the onion and garlic. Then you throw in the shrimp, kind of let that cook a little bit, and then after a minute or two, add the frozen veggies, cook until everything's done. At this point, I actually drizzled a little more soy sauce in and threw in a little more orange juice because I just wanted more flavors than I thought this was going to be. And then basically you slice up some green onion and throw that on at the end for garnish. And then it said, which I actually really liked, you could, if you had some orange, if you used fresh orange juice, if you squeezed it yourself, like through half of an orange, you could slice up the other half and actually add that in at the end too. So it's kind of like an orange stir fry type thing. And I actually did that and it was good. You could certainly serve it over rice, but I think part of the lightness was that it was just the veggies and shrimp. And I thought it was good. I would mess with the flavorings a little bit more because I think this was like a pretty simple recipe, perhaps for folks who are not maybe don't have fish sauce and oyster sauce or whatever. But it was good. And I really liked the orange juice addition. And frozen veggies are just so easy. And I think that they're perfect for stir fry. And I had broccoli, carrots, and peas or something that was in the bag. So it was kind of stir fry medley. And it was extremely quick. I mean, there's the only things you do is chop the onion and the garlic and then the green onion at the end. And it seemed pretty light and I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to try it again with maybe some additional sauce or flavors, just a little bit to make it a little more zingy for me. And I think I'm going to add fresh ginger too. Because
I was just going to say ginger.
Yeah, they did not call for that. And I am going to add that in. So that was my shrimp orange stir fry recipe.
Sounds very light and simple.
Yeah, I love that. I think just the idea of throwing shrimp and frozen veggies together in a pan is wonderful. That sounds like you could eat it for a great summer lunch. It'd be good for dinner. And overall, you would just be like, okay, that is done now. I'm satisfied and it was tasty.
Yep.
Fun with your life. Love it.
Yep. One pan and done. So I'm gonna keep it up, and I think I'm a convert to at least some of the time the frozen veggie situation.
I think you could mess with it too and use different kinds of veggies. Like I think it'd be good with frozen corn too. And a bunch of different things you could do.
Even black beans and corn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot you could do. Mm-hmm. Especially if you get the shrimp that's already deveined. And
which I did. It was on sale. I was like, good to go. So okay, now it's Beth's turn.
Okay, it's my turn. And I pivoted this morning from what I was going to do. I'm sharing a salad that I saw in a cookbook. The cookbook is Save It Forward Suppers by Cindy Kane, and it's a whipped ricotta salad. I'd never heard of whipped ricotta salad. and I kept the cookbook at home, so I don't really have her recipe, but I'll tell you what I did. Because I couldn't follow it because I was trying to quickly make it, and it could be quick. I had these little toddler people in my house, and I wanted them dry. So you whip this ricotta, and you add salt. You whip it for like 3 minutes, and then you put it on a platter, and then you, in the meantime, you cut up, in this case, cucumbers. I slivered some onions, called for red. I didn't have any, and tomatoes. If you've got, heirloom or whatever you have, cherry works as well. And then I just used the salad dressing, garlic, what is it? Garlic creations? No.
Garlic expressions. I think.
Expressions.
Yeah.
Because I was in a hurry. So you basically, it's a little salad that you put it on your whipped ricotta, and then you scoop it up with a baguette, with baguette pieces. And I have a picture here. So today when I decided to switch, I looked up Gaida De Laurentiis's recipe, and hers has a lot more basil, much more basil forward dressing. This had cubes, tomato, onions, and a little bit of basil. And I mean, it was good. So the reason this whole Save It Forward Suppers cookbook that I originally got it from, by Cindy Kane, who is Ree Drummond's best friend, the premise behind her cookbook is preparing ingredients for multiple things per week. So in this ricotta salad, she said, if you have leftovers, you can put it in a wrap. So I did have leftovers, did not have a wrap. I put it on a ciabatta bread, which, I mean, so I had part of it for lunch. It was okay, but that ciabatta bread is so thick that I couldn't finish it. So I'm gonna maybe revisit it when I take it home, and maybe I'd add probably more herbs, but yeah, and parsley, way more basil. They put Gaida puts pine nuts on it, so it's very similar to the burrata idea, but just with ricotta. So yeah, what do you think?
Well, when you whip the ricotta, what were you using? Were you just using a whisk, or did you use a food processor?
I use my my mixer,
Okay.
so it would have, yeah,
I was just wondering, I've whipped feta before.
yeah,
Sounds pretty similar to that
yeah.
to me. But it sounds really good. I mean, yeah.
So I also just saw someone, I was looking on TikTok too to see what they do, and there's same idea, except this woman just had cukes and lots of herbs and feta. She put feta in with it. So yeah, there's a lot of variations. It could be quick and light if you but ultimately with the kids, I just like threw it on the plate and like, here, have a snack. But it was good. It was different.
My mom makes whipped ricotta a lot to spread on as an appetizer, to spread on like crostini. But she usually puts it like honey and it's like kind of sweet, and like or maybe and then she'll have like a sweet jam that is on it as well. So I'm really intrigued by the more savory idea of it, because I haven't experienced it in like that direction. So that's really cool. But I love whipped ricotta. I think it's like it's so good.
Well, interestingly, they do Cindy's recipe said, or if you're daring, put some honey on it. And I think Gaida also puts honey on it. So it's
okay. Maybe that's
a thing, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, totally different. So anyway, it was quick-ish. It was light. It was messy. But hey, so if we don't have anything else to comment about, I'm going to say thank you for watching Recipe Share. Be sure to click the link below to look at the event page on aadl.org to find the recipes we talked about. Join us next time when we'll be talking about, let's see, our category is Eat with Your Hands. So we'll be doing that, and we look forward to seeing what you've been making. So thanks for sharing.
Recipe share, recipe share, share.